Monday morning, walk day number 268. Let's get on the road here. So, how are you? I thought about yesterday. I did my walk, but it's just one of those things where I just didn't want to stick this in front of this. Just wasn't in the mood. I wanted to do something a little different and just kind of take a break. Help clear my mind a little bit. Being the weekend and all. But we're back on the horse Monday morning, and scale. Well, that's where we're going to pick up where we left off. Scale's responding exactly what I wanted it to do. The last 2 days over the weekend, I kind of ate more typical selection of foods, a more typical diet, I guess you could say. And I wanted to see if my metabolism would just sort of settle down and mellow out, and it did. It's leveled off just beautifully, just as I hoped it would. So I'm still at the upper range of that with 330s, and so we'll kick it back in again today, do some calorie restriction today, and see if it responds again tomorrow. So I left off talking about how I miscalculated, maybe that's the word. Misjudged how hungry I was, what kind of foods I should be eating. I did a grocery order, and I ordered these croissants. I was talking about that, not realizing how many and how large they were. And so I ate a bunch of these extra carbs that I wouldn't normally do that late in the day. As the phone cut out at that moment, I was saying that in the past, what I would do is I would pop some extra aspirin or something else that's anti-inflammatory to try to counterbalance that extra sugar kick that would make me inflame inside, and my tissues get that inflammation from the poor diet. Oh, by the way, if you're interested more, if you have never really researched how food creates inflammatory conditions, there's a ton of stuff online. I was looking at the Johns Hopkins medical report on it, and the sorts of foods you should avoid, like croissants, etc. So anyway, so the aspirin in the old days would help kind of settle down that inflammatory response, which would then keep the obstructive sleep apnea in check, which would then allow me to sleep better. And well, it didn't happen. I forgot to take the aspirin, didn't think about it, and so that's where I got stuck. I got into pretty bad shape. I literally was choking on my own uvula that morning, trying to do laundry. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? But it wasn't so bad that I had to call 911. But it scared me. And that's what we're going to talk about here. We're going to be talking about health scares. Learn to read your body, and you'll discover as you age, your body's going to change in the way it responds to certain kinds of foods, to the way it responds to exercise, the way it responds to medications. You have to kind of keep shifting and playing a game, sort of like a game of chess in your metabolism and the way your body responds to different things. So I made it through. I did a much better job with the diet since then. Like I say, it's flattened out on the scale, and my throat is a little husky, I guess. But we're gonna focus on flushing out all those inflammatory things. It'll help my gut as well. My digestion definitely gets affected by too much inflammatory foods. Again, we get into this vicious cycle. So anyway, so what's another time where I've had a health scare, especially now as I've gotten older? Well, let's back up the clock a little bit. I was doing really great in my 20s, my 30s, etc. Even though I was carrying extra pounds, I was still pretty active, and I was able to do the fit yet fat deal. Fat yet fit, whatever. Fat and fit, whatever. Which is a true thing until your body says it's not anymore. Until it says we're not gonna respond to that croissant the way it had in the past, or that bagel the way it had in the past. Things change, things shift, and so you can probably get away with it as I did when I was younger, but the weight and the related chronic diseases and conditions caught up with me eventually. The first real medical clue that my weight was causing problems was, oh gosh, how old would I have been? Well, 1998. So do a little math. What? So that's 35, right? That's the first clue that something was going to start going downhill in terms of my health. That's when my gallbladder finally gave out, which seems awfully young, I know. For most people, you'd get it in your 60s, maybe your 70s. Your gallbladder finally goes so poorly that it has to be removed, if even then. But we took care of that, got the gallbladder removed as a young man, and I just kept going throughout my 40s. And then, as I mentioned before, it was age 49, when things really started to go downhill. The fit and fat combination wasn't working so well anymore at that point. So we'll talk more about that in our next episode. Thank you for listening. We're going to continue on with age-related chronic conditions that's happened to me and that could happen to other people as well. A little chance to dig into some real life health and wellness. Bye for now.